And good morning. Uh, it's been a very long and rough morning for me. Let me just make sure I have audio. I do. Okay, excellent. Um, yeah, my normal 10-minute commute to bring my son to school turned into 50 minutes just to get there because of a car accident. Um, so scrambling to get everything done and prep this morning, but I think we're in a good spot now. Um, but needless to say, I don't have my normal coffee. Had to stop by and grab one at the gas station. So, okay, so today we're gonna finish up our player abilities. We're gonna get the rest of those built, and then we're gonna build our orcs. We're gonna actually start having a different collection of bad guys in our game. With that, we're gonna have to actually start building out some of our tiles too, and start adding in a way for us to say we're level one, let's spawn the low level enemies. We're level two, level three. And remember, I'm doing everything based on item level, so we'll spawn based on those levels. Um, I've had a couple other thoughts about the game, and these are, you could call it scope creep or something like that. But, I've got these great little handheld devices. Like this one is the PlayStation Portal. It's great form factor, it's a great little thing. It is almost worthless. I mean, you can play the stream of the cloud games, but even on like I have a good mesh, Wi-Fi 7 network at home, and it lags on streaming. I don't know why. It's just really horrible. Probably because both the PlayStation and the Portal are on Wi-Fi, and if I had hardwired the PlayStation, it might work better. Don't know. But I also have the Xbox One. This one actually works pretty good, except for it's a Windows PC. So if you don't play it every day, you spend 25, 45 minutes updating it before you can play it. But the reason I bring these up is I was starting to think about, if we're going to play something on a portable screen with a controller, maybe we need to think about controller inputs for something like this. I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty clear cut keyboard and mouse style game, but I'm usually designed with controllers in mind, and so that was a thought in the back of my head. And again, feature lock is at 60, so I think if we wanted to add controllers, that would probably be one of the first things we also cut because we ran out of time. So let's jump over to our boards here. So let me see. Do I got everything set up right? I think I do. That looks right. Okay. So we're at 48. We'll just call it 49 hours. 48.8. With Dungeon Fire tiles, we've got a bunch of stuff to add in. We're going to build out most of these abilities today. I don't think there's going to be anything. The two pet things for the priest and the wizard, the fire elemental or fire familiar, and the spirit guardian for the priest. I think those two we probably won't do today, but we'll get the rest of the stuff built out. The rogues, throw his what's it called, dynamite, his explosive. We'll get the barbarians thunderclap and all that fun stuff. We'll get that built out today, and then we're going to build on our orcs. And we have, if I jump over here, our dark orc army. So we have like our feral orcs and stuff like that. So we have like our berserkers. Let's see here. We can get an animated GIF going. There we go. So we have our, the different orcs that we're going to implement and stuff like that today. And then so on top of that, what we need is we also need a way to add them into our scenes. So if you remember, I do not have where is 471? There we go. I don't have Godot open. In here, in our tile editor that we spent so much time on in the first episode, is tile editor. Here we go. We have these encounter tables and special elements. So we could probably come back and make use of these. So when we start designing our tiles, like right now, anything that's red is an enemy. So when we start designing our tiles, we can also do add some encounter here, and then we can create the enemy spawner to read that data and then spawn the appropriate type of enemy. So that's the idea behind that, but we'll get to that. And I believe if we look at our enemy, did we call it spawner? What did we call it? SPAW. Spawner, monster spawner. That's what we called it here. So with this, we just right now we just have the orc preload, but we can just, you know, swap this out for enemy, and then we can actually export a list of, you know, this will spawn, you know, whatever, an archer, or this will spawn X, Y, and Z. And then we can take whatever that type of creature, and then we can look up what's their current item level. And then we can spawn the appropriate one based on the current item level. That should be pretty straightforward, hopefully. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue going forward. The only issue I think we're going to run into with these is some of these. Let me see here. Do we have it? Yeah, like here we have like the cave troll. And if we look at the cave troll, we'll just bring up the idle here. He's actually like 4 squares, like 4 by 4. And right now, everything we have built in this game is based on a unit only existing in 1 square. So some of these guys who are going to be bigger, we're going to have to rethink that. This might, I don't want to do it. I really want to keep our, where is it? GDD here. You know, we have our bosses, like cave troll, and like I think the pale champion's only a 1 square thing, but like the cave troll's a 4 by 4. And so to keep that in, we're going to have to retool some of our logic, because we don't want that cave troll to only exist in 1 square. He's way too big. We want him to feel like he's in, you know, 2 by 2. So he's in 4 total squares. So we might have to go back through and redo some of our logic to make that work. But that's going to be, that may end up on the cutting room floor because we took so long in this refactoring. But today we're going to finish. We're going to build out the hero abilities. We're going to find a monster ability. Basically, the only thing we have left is we already have move. We already have melee. We just need to add in a ranged. So like the ones that are going to shoot ranged attacks. I think we have like Arbalist, I think is the... Yeah, this guy's got like a crossbow. So we'll, you know, those will have to... add in a new monster logic. It's basically just going to be melee attack. And all we're going to do is just change the range. Say, hey, is it within 8 squares? Good. Shoot. You know, don't move. Shoot. So it's going to be pretty easy and pretty straightforward. The thing I was thinking about is like, how are we going to do a move logic that's smart enough so that the monster only goes to, you know, within range and then will shoot? I think the easier solution to that is we just don't worry about it. What we do is we just make the range attack, its range larger than its walk speed. So then if it says, hey, you know, my range for my crossbow is 8 squares. If I'm not within range, I'll walk 6. And then the next time I'll check again. Now am I within 8 squares? So as long as it's always longer than what the walk range is, it'll always just move forward, and then it'll shoot when it's within range. So as long as we do it that way, it's kind of a little hack. I don't know if I want to call it hack, cheap, whatever. But that logic will work without us having to create a whole new AI routine to say, I need to be smart about this and position myself perfectly to use ranged attacks. So I think that's everything to go over right now. And I think we're about ready to start building. And as we build through some of this stuff, feel free to, you know, chime in and chat. And, you know, we've got some definitions over here for our abilities. So we'll probably start right here. We'll start right with the rogue. And, you know, we've already got shurikens implemented. We just need to do, you know, build the throw bomb, build in the mobility. This one might get kicked down to if there's time. But the 1.5 move, I think we'll just probably change this into like a +3 squares, which is base is 6. So 1.5. We can just do that through a buff. I mean, that's all mobility is going to do. It's just going to add a buff. Wizard, Fireball, we've already got the AoE in place. We've already got the Fire Torrent in place. Fire Familiar, this one we have to create a new actor and then give it its own logic. So this is going to be, again, we're just going to probably make use of the enemy logic and just reuse that. So it's going to move towards the nearest enemy and attack it. So it's basically just going to be an orc reskinned, except for instead of being a monster, it's going to target, or sorry, instead of targeting players, it's going to target monsters. And then teleports can be pretty easy. We just click on new square and then off he goes. Let's see, priest, what we got here? Healing. I mean, that's going to be pretty straightforward. The execute command will just heal the player, heal whoever the target is. Word of pain. I mean, that's just a single target. This one, I don't know if we want to do straight up damage on that, or if we just want to make it like a 2 attack dice. If we make it 2 attack dice, it's going to be a lot easier to work with our current system and require a lot less rework. But, you know, who knows? Divine Fire, again, this is just Fireball, re-range, or reskinned. You know, it does less damage, but... and then, again, the Spirit Guardians, it's a new actor, but this one, instead of the move towards the nearest enemy, it's going to follow the priest, so it's always going to target the priest, but then it will attack any enemy that's next to the priest, is what the idea is. So that one's going to create a little bit more of a convoluted logic to get that one to work. And maybe we just make it like the fire familiar and it just goes after enemies. I don't know. And then Barbarian, Battlecry, we already have the plus defense. We can really quickly make the plus attack. Thunderblade, again, this is just Fireball. That's all it is. And then Guard is a self one, and it gives them +2 defense. So this one's an AoE. So basically what I'm probably going to do is just reskin the one we have right now and call it Guard. And then it'll just self-target the Barbarian. And then we'll have that ability all done. So those are our abilities we need to build. Should be pretty quick, pretty fast. And then we'll go through and we'll build all of our orcs. So let's go ahead and let's get that timer started. So let's just work from the top. So we'll start building on the rogue. Okay, so our first thing for the rogue was we're going to build mobility. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's close all this out. Let's find our rogue. We'll get his scene open, and then we'll come down to our rogue abilities. Here we go. Let's create a new. Let's see. What do we need? Let's steal. We did a buff already in the Barbarian's ability. Where's Barbarian? Here we go. Barbarian ability, Battlecry. So we can just copy this, and then we'll go back into our rogue abilities, create new, create a script, and this was mobility. Okay. Yeah, mobility, create. Okay, and we'll just paste this in, and we'll call this mobility. Okay, and that's going to be, we're going to attach the buff to it. That's easy enough, and then we add the buff. I mean, technically, we didn't even really need to change that, but we just want to kind of keep it named properly for the rogue. So now if we create a new resource, mobility, okay, mobility, okay, and then we're just going to attach a buff to it, and then the buff, do we want to make it a resource? We don't really need to make it a resource. We can just do this. Mobility, add 3 squares, and this stuff will all come out in the UI. We'll add the descriptions in the UI so that the players can see what they actually do and select them and move around. Let's see here. What happened over here? Here it goes. There it goes. Add 3 squares. Icon. We do have over. I have the priest. Why do I have the priest open? I meant to have the rogue open. Here we go. We'll come back to that in 1 second. I'm having some tech issues that my mouse decides to keep disconnected. The mouse and the Stream Deck are fighting for some reason. Okay, so let's add in here. We need a string. There it is. And we're going to call it movement. And the new value over here, this is going to be an integer. We're going to add 3 to it. Okay, so we make sure we hit this add or else it doesn't actually save it. And then this should be fine. So we hit save here. Let's go steal the icon that we had for our rogue. So if we just copy this, come back into our mobility, we'll paste in the icon here. We'll do a paste as unique just so that it doesn't alter other things. And then we just need to select the mobility. Here we go. We got pixel snap on. We'll just zoom in here, make sure we're highlighted right. There we go. Close. Okay. So we save that. Okay. So then that is that buff. So if we go to our rogue, oops, abilities, we add an element. We can do a quick load. We find mobility. There we go. Now he's got mobility. We got shurikens here. We got mobility. I mean, technically, we don't even need to build the extra scenes, but it just makes things nicer. What was the next one we need? Throw bomb? Throw bomb. Yep. Okay. And so this is a single target. So this will be an attack target one. So this will be the same as the fire torrent for the wizard. So let's go down to the wizard. Fire torrent. That's the animations. I want the abilities. Where is it? Fire. Here we go. Fire torrent. Okay, we'll just copy this. Go up to rogue. Create new script. What do we call this? Throw bomb. Yeah, throw bomb. Okay. And we'll call this throw bomb. The big reason why I'm doing these like slightly differently is so then we can come back in here and we can tweak things like animations, which I probably going to go back and change that with the rogue because I don't think there's a mobility animation right now. We'll have to go back and look. But for like here, you know, we're going to use an ability called throw bomb or an animation called throw bomb. So then we target it. If it's active, return true. That's fine because we're already doing the other thing. What did we say that throw bomb was? Throw bomb was single target 3 HP reduce. So right now we're just going to leave it as 3 and throw bomb. Okay, so we have that. So we save that. Let's go create a new resource. Throw bomb resource. Throw bomb. Okay. Now I come in, throw bomb. Ability name, throw bomb. Toss a bomb at an enemy. Okay. AP cost is going to be 1. Did we say a range in that one? We did not. Let's just give it a... I don't have range implemented yet. That is definitely something we're going to add. So let's just make it... Let's make it 6. It's going to be a single target. It's not targeting allies. And then paste, oops. Yeah, that works. Paste as unique. Okay, and then we can edit. And our throw bomb is that one right there. Oh, we do have the, oh, that's the dash or whatever. Okay. Okay, so we got throw bomb. So we save that. Okay, that's all good there. And then let's go back to our rogue. Add element, quick load, throw bomb. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to add the actual resource. And I want to add the script. Throw bomb. There we go. So save that. So now let's go into our rogue here. And let's look at our animation player. And so we have a shuriken's cast. We need a... So let's do this. Let's duplicate this. And this one's going to be called throw bomb. Okay. So then, if we come down here, we get our rogues. Make this 2D so we can actually see them. Throw bomb. Let's see what we got here. We got the explosion, projectile. Here we go. Throw bomb. This is what we want. And it is, let's see, right here in the center. So it looks like it's an odd number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we have 11 of them. Okay, so we select our texture. Come on, mouse. Ugh. It's the problem with my mouse today. It's going to be a real pain in the butt. Okay, so we got our texture, our H frames. There's only going to be 11 of them. Okay, so then we just need to come back down here. This is only going to be 1.1, and then we're going to get rid of these extras. So this last one should be frame 10. And if we look, there we go. Throws the bomb. Boom. Okay. So we save that. And then what was the other one we did? We did mobility. Did we have an animation for mobility? I don't think we... looks like we might. Run. That's dodge. What's the run one look like? I feel like that one, what we should probably do is... Yeah. I feel like that one... Let's just throw this in for right now, just so then we have an animation so we can see that it actually cast. This is 8. Okay, so let's duplicate. It's not the right animation, but it'll at least give us something to work with. 8. Okay, so we get rid of these. Boom. And again, we look at him here. He just does like a little quick tumble. There we go. Okay, so save that. Let's bring back up our mobility and make sure we... Okay, and then here what we need is we need to play the animation. So right here, attack. No, we just need to act. Do our actors have an animation player? They don't. Does our player have a reference to animation player? Player. I don't have player opened. Player does not. Okay. All of our actors are gonna have an animation player, so let's just add a reference to an animation player. Oh, it is already declared. Ah, my bad. It is already declared. Okay, so we can just use this. Oops. Copy. Okay. So let's go back to our mobility. Mobility. So we'll add the buff, and then we'll await actor.animationplayer.play, and then this one is just going to be called mobility. Okay. We should probably have some safety checks in there. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but you should probably have, check, make sure the animation's actually there, and then add it in. Okay, so we're going to just use this. That's for mobility. Throw bomb we already have, and then what was the other one we had? We have shurikens, which that one should already have. Shurikens. That one should already have, yeah, shuriken cast. Okay, so now we have all 3 abilities on the rogue. Let's just double check. Let's make sure everything works here. Whoops, helps if we start the game board. Okay, yeah, end turn. Come on, let's get some rogue stuff going on here. Okay, here comes our rogue. So if we use... What's going on with this one? Oh, we never set our mobility icon. Did we not make a... Okay, so I did that one wrong. But anyway, if we do that, it's not working. Let's try throw a bomb. Just gonna throw it. Doesn't go anywhere. Let's throw it down here. There we go. Boom. Okay. So let's go back here. So we did mess up the this mobility.tres. Okay. So we never, I thought we made this. Mobility.tres. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Mobility. Okay. AP cost range target is self only. I swear we did this. Add 3 squares to movement. Probably just didn't hit save. We'll save. Then we'll edit this. We'll change it to. We'll give it the little tumble roll. Just because right now we're using that move icon for our other thing, so we're just gonna differentiate that for right now. Okay, save. Okay, so that should be fine now. If we go back to our rogue and we hit, come on, mouse. Come on, mouse. You can do it. There we go. Now that's all there. Okay, so now if we run this, our rogue should be able to tumble and move faster. Okay, so we do mobility. Boom. Trying to give return value a method that returns void. Oh, duh. We need to do this. Oh, wait. And then we do actor animation player dot animation finished. There we go. Okay. There. He did that. And now when we move, now he's got all these extra squares he can move. There we go. Okay. So we got that. Okay, great. So that is, let's go ahead and hit stop. We've got the rogue abilities built. Okay, let's go back to our Kanban. So rogue, we've got those. This is done. Save. Okay, let's go into our wizard because we only have, I think, one more to build for the wizard. We got to build teleport for the wizard. Okay. Let's go back here. Let's double check our wizard. Fireball, we already have that. Fire torrent, we already have that. Fire familiar, again, we're kicking that down the road. So let's just add in teleport. Okay. So let's go back here. Wizard abilities, create new script. Let's copy. Yeah, we'll just create a new script. And this is going to extend ability, ABIL. Okay. And then this will be teleport. Script already exists. Oh, we already have a teleport GD. Okay. Oh, right, because we made out all of these earlier just to fill the action menu. Okay, so we have a target cell here. If this is true, the execute. This is going to be cast teleport. Okay, so this one we're going to do a little bit differently. Let's grab the mobility because we're going to be using basically the same thing. So let's copy this. Let's go back to our teleport. So what we'll do here is we're going to paste this in. We're going to have the animation do teleport. Oh, here we did underscore. Can I just... Okay, it'll let me do that even. Okay. Actor, animation play teleport, await the teleport is finished. We're going to call this teleport out because there's going to be both the disappear and the reappear. So we're going to wait for this. We're going to copy this. We're going to put here, move wizard. Okay, we'll move into the new square. And then we're going to do teleport in. Okay. So that's what we'll do here. Here's our target. Move wizard to target. Target square. Okay. So we've got that. Let's get into our wizard. Where am I? Over here. Wizard. Boom. Animation player. Fireball cast, fire torrent cast, hit, idle move. Okay. We need to do, I think it's going to be like this. Let's duplicate this. It's going to call it teleport out. Okay. And then let's find our GIF. General animation, special animations. Here we go. Teleport. Okay. Oops. Bunk. And then we have teleport start and teleport end. And then we've got different directions because this has him like facing where he wants to go, either diagonal or orthogonal. Because we're just doing up and down vertical squares, I'm going to just use the orthogonal. Okay, and then we have, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That does make sense. Probably 13. 6. Yeah, 13. Okay. So it's going to be 13, 1.3 seconds. Texture. We'll put that in here. And then we'll come over here. We'll delete these. We'll change the... Oops, come back to the beginning. We'll change this to 13. This is going to be a fun struggle day if my mouse keeps deciding it doesn't want to work. Okay, so we got that. Let's see here. This should be his teleport out, and he's going to look like he's going to the right. And then let's add in one more. Do we have a blank sprite? That's the question. I don't think we do. Let's look at this. Open. Yeah, none of these are actually like empty. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll 2 dots, we'll move them, and then we're going to duplicate this again, and this will be teleport in. Okay. And then let's see, let's bring up our teleport end, orthogonal. And then this looks like it's going to be 13 as well, so that's going to make this easy. Okay. So then teleport in, shoop, and appears. Feels like I'm missing a frame there, though. Nope, that's the last frame. Okay. Oh, you know what? We forgot something with the rogue, but we'll do it here with this guy, and then we'll go back and reapply it for the rogue. Okay. Let's go back to our teleport. So then once this is all done, we want to go back to playing the idle animation. Okay. So let's go back for our mobility. So after that's done, we want to go back to playing the idle animation. Okay. Okay, so this, now we just actually have to move. So we're going to take the target square, and then we can do, you just realized we have to do a bunch of validation target square. And let's just get it working right now. Okay, so then we're going to move here. The square is going to be XY. How do we update the current position? I think that's what it is. So if we do actor dot current cell equals the target cell equals target cell. Okay. What did I just called it target. Target. Okay. So that will set his current cell there, but that doesn't change his position. So when we move him, How are we updating the position? Let's go back here and look at the player. So moving. Oh, it's in the actor script. Actor script. Here we go. Let's shrink this down. We don't need this right now. We can shrink this over. Okay. So here's our current cell, target cell. Here's our position 2 cell. Start move. Velocity global position is move points. Current cell is position to cell global position. Moving. On movement finish. So we stop here and we set the global position equal to move points -1. So this is an actual cell location. So I think if we do, right? So how do we reverse this? Brain not work. Let's see here. Absolute move cell. Current cell's position to cell. Global. No, I need the global position. Equals move points. Current cell. Where did we put it in our code? Where we actually calculate where the... Is it in the game board? Update active. Ready. Remove word lost. We just have to do the exact opposite of what we are doing before. We did local to map to try to map it to our tile map. We just need to pull it back out. Maybe we need to look in the tile map. Here we go. What we got here? Position to cell. This returns our local to map. So this is how we place our tiles. I mean, we could just do it the easy way and just make them move. Yeah, that's not really going to help us here. I feel like maybe I'm overcomplicating this. Maybe I'm thinking this too long because we set the current cell equals position to cell global position. So when we do the target cell, we're getting the cell position, right? Because that's what our targeting thing is returning. If we go to targeting, so when we come in here, we do targeting, ability targeting. Context get ability. Single target. Oh, we'll use the AoE targeting for that. Should we use AoE targeting? Because then that's how we're getting the targeted cell. Oh, here we go. AoE targeted cell. So this connects it into here. We return, yeah, we're returning the vector twice. So we're returning the actual cell location. I mean, we could just do a mathematical computation and just put them over there. Let's just do that. That'd be easier. And we have an actor. We have a reference to the dungeon tiles. Or do we have a reference to the game board or something like that? That's ability. Actor. Here we go. We have a reference to None of that. Animation, player, stats, actor. How about player? Player, we have a reference to abilities. Yeah, that's not going to help us either. Well, let's go back here. Did we pass anything in? We passed in the combat manager. Combat manager might be helpful for us. What do we have reference for in the combat manager? Oh, that's right. We refactored and pulled everything out of that. Okay, so that's not going to help us either. Okay, so let's just do our mathematical computation then. So let's do actor dot global position is going to equal the. We're going to look at the target cell. So target times. So this is a vector 2i times, and then we need the tile size. Do we have actor buff moving? Oh, right here. We do have a dungeon tile map. Perfect. We do have that in our character. Okay, I just had to scroll down further. Times actor ACTOR dot dungeon tile map dot tile size dot tile dot size tile map quadrant size. I don't think it's quadrant size. Let's go back into our game board. I know we're using it in the game board. Actually, yeah, I think it's game board. We're using it. Control F. Let's see. Where tile size. That's the number of tiles in the tile. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the actual. There we go. Dot. Oh, it's all capitals. That's where I was going wrong. Dungeon map dot tile size. There we go. So then that should move the actor to where he needs to be. And then this will says current cell, and then we'll play the animation in. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if that's going to... Oh, we need to give the wizard that ability too. Add element. Oops. Quick load. Teleport. Okay. Save that. Let's see. Teleport. Oh, right, because we did... Yeah, that's not going to work. Because the way we did this is we did it on self. So what we need to do is we need to do area. You know what? Let's change that out. Where is... Oh, I did find the wizard stuff. I will... You know, I'm just going to leave this alone for right now. I did find the wizard icon pack. I just have to actually bring it in. So let's leave that there for now. Let's go to our AoE targeting thing here. And let's do a... Let's copy this. Control C. Or Control D. And then we're going to call this one radius 0. I'm going to bring this back to the top. Boom. We're going to make this visible. And then what we're going to do is we're going to delete all of this except for one square. There we go. So it's just one square. Okay. Then we'll come back in here. And we're going to do... we'll just do an else here. Else. Yeah, just else. And then we can do radius 0, visible equals true. We'll do 1, 2, and then copy this. There we go. And we'll copy this, and we'll put in false for this one, false. This is not the most elegant solution for doing this, but either way, it works. And then we do, let's just make sure that when I'm calculating the radius, there we go, 3, 0, 3, one step. Okay. And then when we're doing calculations, radius. Okay, so all we're using radius for is determining which one of these tiles we're going to see. Okay, so that should be fine there. We go back over here to our wizard, our teleport spell. We have a radius of 0, target area, that's fine. Okay. Is that going to work properly? Probably not, because remember, we have attack targets with our AoE. So we may need to update the... let's see what we can do. Maybe we can shoestring this in otherwise. So let's go back here. Let's go to our script. Oh. Yeah, we need this to be... This should be self. No, we want it to be AoE, but what we want to do is when we call the attack targets, we need to use this code instead. So let's see, where's our attack targets? Oh, that ain't going to work either because we validate that there are targets in the AoE. Oh, man. Sounds like we need a new targeting mode. Or we just redo the single target. Single target. We redo the single target and we allow it to target just a cell, and then in validation, we make sure that there's nothing there. So if we do single target, let's just make sure right now this works. So when I hit teleport, it should bring up and give me that single cell. Oops, to work. The actual thing's not going to work. Hey, look, here we go. Mobility. Shoom. Throw a bomb. Hey, look at that. We made our rogue do something. And then we still have to add in the actual animation of the bomb being thrown and exploding and all that stuff. That's all polish. So I'm not doing, I'm just doing some rough stuff today. Okay, here we go. So if I do teleport, why is it not doing? Okay, why is nothing coming up now? Oh, there we go. Fireball. How did all those get spaces? How did we manage to do that? That seems weird. I must have hit a shortcut key I wasn't aware of, or when my mouse was freaking out. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, teleport, single square. Nope, fireball. Valid assignment or property key visible with a value of type bool on the base object of null. How is it null? I mean, they're all right here. Doesn't like radius 3. Oh. Somehow. That's radius 3. Radius 1. 0, 1. Oh, wait a minute. So 0 should just be, let's look at this here. Hold on. What did we do? So 0 is 1 square, or 1 is all the surrounding squares. 2, that plus 2, and then 3. Because each of these should grow bigger. All right, 1, 2, 3. No, that's 2, 3. Okay, so 3 needs to be redrawn. What did I do? How did I mess that up? That is a good question. So there, and one more. That seems way too big. Radius 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, Okay, fireball. Yep, that works. Okay, teleport. Teleport is not giving me... Oh, because I did single target. Did single target. I did not do this AoE. Okay. Oh, dummy me. Okay. Let me think here. Let's go back to our script for our teleport spell. Let's look at our targeting. Because do we pass the target or do we validate the target before we do it for single? Ability targeting. Here we go. Current ability. If current ability. Yeah, we don't need this area match. We're not doing that. Single target. Here we go. Single target. This we just look at. I think what we'll do, we'll change it to an area, and then we'll just change our validation of the area because we'll just have to allow area to be targeted if there's nothing in there. Yeah, we're trying to save the players from wasting a fireball, but you know what? Let's not bother doing that. Okay, so we'll do area targeting. Let's go back to teleport. We'll set that to... We'll set this over here. Come on. Come on. There we go. We'll set that back to an area. We'll save that. We'll come back over here to our targeting machine. Area, area targeted. Here we go. Target cell. This, we get all of our targets. That's fine if there's no targets. Actually, that's what we would prefer. And then we call AoE target selected. Okay, so let's go back to our game board. Boop, boop, boom. AoE target selected down here. Then player, if actors is empty, no targets, and this kicks it back. So this right here, we're going to just remove this for right now because we're going to allow an empty one. You can cast it in an empty square. And then we're going to pass actors and combat manager. Okay, so we're not actually going to use either of these. Should we also pass in ourself? No, wait, because I think our ability is going to already pull in. Oh, okay. So we're going to pull in. We're going to do attack actors. So let's grab our fireball. Actually, we'll just grab ability. Here we go. Attack actors. We're going to do boom, 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 boom. We don't have a reference to the actual owner, but we do here where it is valid target. Are we calling is valid target? Ability. We are not doing the is valid target. Okay, so this is not going to work anyway. Because if we don't call is valid target, Oh, you know what? Right here. Let's rephrase this. Let's look at Fireball. Fireball. Apparently I have it closed. Fireball. And we have is valid target, and we just say if it's an actor, then yes, it's true. So right now, how about for Fireball? We just do this for right now, and we just return true. So everything's a valid target for a Fireball. And then shurikens, we just want to do like the same thing, the shurikens. If actor is rogue. If actor is rogue, return false. We'll come back to that one in a second, but let's go back here. So when we come into our teleport, we have a target cell equals this, and then if actor, return false. Not actor. If target cell, this is teleport. We're just going to return true here, period. Boom. If actor, return true. Yeah, that's fine. So if we pass an actor in, then it will be true. Because when we do, yeah. So if we come back in here, we go back to our game. Is it game board? Where did we do this? Yeah, right here. So if there's no targets in AOE, then we should call the ability dot is valid target, and then we're going to send in the current actor. Okay, current actor, comma, the target cell. Do we have the target cell? Actors and ability. So when we call targeting. Okay, and we send targets and current ability. We are not sending the targeted cell. So we should, let's add the targeted cell just because we're going to probably need that. So AoE target selected, current ability, comma, target cell, and then back in game board. Game board. There we go. We're going to add in, comma, target cell, and that's going to be a vector to I. Okay, there we go. And then we can send in the target cell as well. Okay, so we send in the current actor and we send in the target cell. And then we say if ability, if it's not valid, then we do this. If it is valid, we continue on. We use the action point, and then we call the attack actors. And then that way, we're going to do that. Okay. And then in teleport, here, we're going to add in one other one. Var actor is an actor. ACTOR. Okay. And then here, we're going to say, instead of actor, we're just going to call it wizard. Wizard. So then here, we can do wizard equals actor. Okay, so then we'll have that variable, and then we can say if wizard. There we go. If wizard return true. If wizard is wizard. I'm just laughing too much at that. Okay. So if wizard is wizard, return true. Execute. And then down here, I've already forgot. I was getting so in line with what I was doing. Now I've totally forgot what I was planning here. Okay, so we have the actor. So this, we're not using the execute. Oh, right, because we're going to be using attack actors, which is a different function call. That's right, because we need to then work this into this. So down here, we can cut all that out. We put that in here, but where we have actor, any place we have actor, we need to replace it with wizard. There we go. Oops, there we go. Okay, so now, there we go. So now we're not doing anything here in the execute. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so we'll go back to underscore on that one because we're not using it. We're not using actors. Let's underscore that. We're not using the combat manager. Let's underscore that. Oh, avoid our errors. We are using that. That's fine. Okay, so now this should probably work. I know we've probably broken something else. Let's see here. 234. That's fine. We fixed that one. Targeting machine. That's fine. We fixed that. That one we fixed. Okay, so let's see here. Let's run the right scene. Okay, let's get the wizard out of harm. Let's see if he can teleport. Teleport. Single cell. Move him here. So he teleported. He didn't teleport to the cell that we wanted him to teleport to, though. Let's just see. Let's put him down. Let's put him down here. Okay. So we're definitely calculating wrong. Okay. Okay. Well, we've got him teleporting around the board at least. We just have him in the wrong space. So let's see. I bet you next time we move him, though, he'll probably snap to the grid properly. Nope. Not at all. Okay. So we have our target cell, and we're trying to send them. Oh, we need to divide this by 2. Right. I mean, technically, we probably could just do times 4. Was it times 4? No, wait. Where did we put... Oh, you know what? When we spawn our monster. Let's look at that. Monster spawn, new actor, global position. So we're calling spawn monster. And we're sending that out to the game board. I wonder if we can just reuse this. Spawn monster. Okay, game board. Actor spawn. Where are we using the spawn monster? We add the child. Here we go. Location. This is our vector 2. So we do this. This is what we need. So we need to say global position is location plus this. Okay. So when we're doing our wizard teleport, make sure I'm thinking about this right. We do it times the tile size, and then we need to offset it, right? Tile size. Okay. So we do a target. So this is our vector 2i times tile size, and then we need to add in the offset so that we give them in the middle of the tile. Right? Because if we want to go to 1, 1, we want to send it to, so 1, 1 times whatever the tile size is, and then offset it. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's send them really far away. Okay, teleport to here. Zoop. Oh, vector to I. Okay, let's try that again. No, well, whatever. Teleport to there. Okay, well, let's take a look at what our let's look at our AoE, because our AoE is snapping. So let's look at that. AoE. AoE target. Here we go. Physics process target. Position to sell. Get global. So like this is what we're looking for here. So we need to work backwards on this. Teleport. So this is what we need. So we need his position to equal the dungeon tile map to local target minus this. So we already have this position to sell. That's our target cell. So we already have target. So this, if we put this in here, so our target is that. And then we need here, we need the wizard, W-I-Z-A-R-D, right? Wizard global position equals wizard, dungeon tile map to local, target. And then we offset them by a cell. Okay. And then we set the current cell also to that same position. Let's try that. You would think something like putting them in that square would be simple and straightforward, but it's proving to be anything but. Okay, teleport that square. Zoop. Okay, so he's roughly in the right spot. Let's see if I do it back to here. Okay, so he's in the right spot. We just have the offset wrong. So he is in this cell, but where we're putting him. So this instead of minus probably needs to be plus. Take that. Okay. There we go. And turn. Okay. Oh, didn't know I was going to summon some more orcs. Well, I just wanted to get some room for the wizard to move around. Okay, wizard. Come on. Wizard time. Teleport. Let's teleport to that square. Zip. So let's take a look here. Let's look at wizard actors. Wizard. Wizard is at 856. Okay. That's where he's at. Barbarian is at... Where's my transform? There we go. It's at 12.4. 856. That seems... So this is our starting. So -8. So he should be right here. Yep. And then let's see. If this is 0, 8, 16, 32, 32 and 16 is 48 and 8 is 56. So he's there. But why is he being drawn offset? Oh, wait, that should be -16, shouldn't it? Right? Because, like, the rogue is at 0, 0. The rogue position, he's at 4. So he's offset by 4. Okay, so he's at 0, 0 plus 4 plus 4. Okay. So if we do our math, if we bring up our calculator, right? Okay. And we say the wizard went back 2 cells, so he should be at -16. Right. So let's see here. Oops. Click on wizard. Wizard. Okay. So he should be at -16 plus 4. So it actually should be -12. Okay. And then he should be at 56. Not 56, 52. Yeah, that's where he should be. Because again, if we go down, that's 8. So if we go down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we, 6 times 8 is 48. And then he's offset by 4. He should be at 52. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to come back into our math. So we're getting close. So we've got our local to target here, and then we have an offset. Oh, because I did the... Where'd that come from? It should be vector 2, 4, 4. Wow. That's what I get for having my text so big that I can't read it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's make sure our teleport is working properly. And then we're going to be just about done. Let's see here. Let's end this turn here. Let's end your turn. We'll move on to the barbarian, do his spells. Teleport right there. Zip. Zoop. It's not adding the +4. Because that really should be -12. And that should be 20. Right? No. Did I do it? Oh. Maybe it's supposed to be -4. Oh. We'll get there. We'll get there. So if we teleport them down to here, this is going to be, 8 times, this is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So it'll be 24, 24. But we need to offset it by adding 4. So it should be 28, 28. Is that right? So if I teleport him to here, he should come out at 28, 28. Came out 24, 24. So 28, 28. Okay. So he should, why is he not coming out? Do I just not need the offset? Okay, so here, this is going to be a little bit more tricky because we're going negative. So we're going to do, this should be 28, and this should be -8, right? Because we're doing here. Boom. Yeah, I just didn't need the offset. Wizard. Position. There we go. 28, -4. Yeah. Oh, because we're already calculating the offset in the position to sell. Okay, so now if we teleport him up to here, he should be right where he needs to be. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's go back over here. Boom, boom, boom. The wizard took way too long. Wizard abilities. Here we go. So we got teleport, save. He's got 3 abilities. We'll just call him done for right now. So we'll give everybody 3 abilities. We'll just do that going forward. So let's go. Let's do the barbarians because that one should be fairly easy. We already got those buffs in place. So let's just build some more. Okay, so let's see here. Buffs. Barbarian. This guy right here. So we got defensive battle cry already. Let's add in. Let's see. Where's my... Come on, mouse. Thank you. Wizard, priest. Here we go. Barbarian. So we're going to do a Thunderblade, which is an AoE attack, and a guard, which is what we have right now. So let's rename our guard here. So let's go back here. Characters, barbarian, abilities. No, I don't want to move anything. Stupid mouse. Okay. So let's do defensive battlecry. Let's rename this. Rename. Where is there? It is. Rename. I'm going to call this guard. Okay. Guard. Okay. So we're going to call that's the buff name. That's fine. Crazed. That's fine. Oh, this is the actual buff itself. Okay. We need we defined it in the barbarian, didn't we? Yeah, we did it this way. We didn't make an actual, what's it called? A resource. We did battle cry, which extends the ability, but we didn't actually make a full on, because is this a battle cry? It is battle cry. Oh, it's down here. So defensive battle cry, we're going to call this guard. Raise defense by 2. This is a self. So I can only target myself. Let's change this. Edit region. Let's see. Guard. I'll use this for guard. There we go. Close. Okay. Okay, so that's the guard. Raise defense AP 1. We can just leave all this stuff alone because that's nothing. Defense dice by 2. Duration is 3. That's fine. We can actually just we'll do this. We'll do a copy here, and then we'll paste that there. Save. Okay. Okay, so that's battle cry. Or not battle cry, guard. So let's do a new, create new. And it's gonna be a battle cry again. Actually, you know what? Let's copy this. Let's do a different one. Create new script guard. Let me just double check something here. So on battle cry, let me add the buff. Oh, right now we only have it targeting. Yeah, no, this should be fine. Okay, so let's create a new resource, and we're going to create a new battle cry. We're going to call this one battle, D-A-T-T-L-E, cry, defensive. No, we'll call it battle cry defense. How about that? There we go. Battle cry defense. Save. Okay. And then that, we'll just do a, we'll do a buff name, defense up. What would we call the other one? We called that defense up as well. Okay, so actually we should call this guard. There we go. Save. And then in here, we're going to call this FENSI battle cry. Okay, so then we'll know where it came from. Boost nearby allies +1 defense. Okay, ALLIES. There we go. Okay, and then duration is 3. That's fine. Stats modifier. This is going to be a string. Defense dice. And then this will be an integer by 1. Okay, so we got that. Okay, this will be a defense battle cry. We'll just use that again. Boom. AP cost range is 1, I think, is all of our nearby. Let's do 2. No, 1, because we want to center it on ourselves, but the AoE radius is going to be 2. It's going to be AoE area. We're going to target our allies. We're going to paste as unique. That, and then we'll edit this. Boop, boom. This we'll put in back into our battle cry. Just make sure we got the edges right. Okay, so that's fine. Copy. Then this, we'll put this here because then it will be, when we use our UI, we can show that icon. Okay, so we got a defense battle cry here. And then we need one more thing. We need a create new script, and this is going to be a ability. And this is going to be a thunder. What do we call it? Thunder something. Thunder strike. Thunder. Thunder blade. Blade. Okay. Class name Thunder Blade. Okay. And then we need, basically we're going to just take fireball. We're going to copy. We don't need all that top part. We just need this part. Copy that over. Go paste that in here. Is valid target. Yep, that's fine. We'll just do that. This will be called Thunder Blade. Okay. We don't need this. We will target all the actors. We don't need this. Wait, that's fine because this will set it back to idle, so we don't need the idle. And then what's the Thunderblade attack? Thunderblade was 3x3 and it's 4 dice. Okay. So if we go back to, where was I? Where's Godot? There we go. 4. Did I say 4? Yeah. It's a 3x3, which was our AoE. Which was which one? 3x3. So it's a radius 1. Okay. Okay. Where to barbarian? There we go, barbarian. Thunderblade. Okay, so now we just need to create the new resource, and we're going to call it Thunderblade. Thunderblade. Okay. And then we come into Thunderblade. attack all enemies around you. When we add in the range, then it's going to add in the check-in to make sure that it's right on top of the player. Range 1, AoE radius is 2, right? Because no, it was 1. 1. Okay, and AoE, target allies is definitely off. And then let's edit the region. And we have this cool little Thunderblade attack. Right there. Okay. Thunderblade, save. Okay, and then we're going to make that. So let's go over here to our Barbarian. Let's add all of his... Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to click on that. So we have Guard. Let's add 2 more. We have Thunderblade. We have Guard. We have Defensive Battlecry. And Thunderblade. Okay, so we save that. And let's go into our animation player. We need... Okay, we don't really have much else here, so let's just duplicate this, duplicate the attack. We'll start with Thunderblade. Thunderblade. Okay, and we'll go back 2D so then we can check it out as we do it. Pull this up. Thunderblade, special animations, general special. Thunderblade. Thunderblade, here we go. And we need to Thunderblade, here we go. And it is a lot of frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 and 8, 16. So it's 17 frames. Okay. So textures. Boom. H frames, 17. Okay. So this will be 1.7 seconds. Okay. So then we need to... Okay. So I got that. We've got the sprite loaded. And let's see here, sprite, frame, animation, there we go, 5. Oops, Control Z. Put the playhead right there. I want to go frame 6, add that, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 16. Okay, so we got zoom. Boom. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have the Thunderblade, and then we also have a battle cry. So we'll duplicate this. Battle cry. Okay. Battle cry is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 11. Okay. $11 frames. So that'll be 1.1 seconds. We'll get rid of those frames, and then we've got our nice little battle cry here. Okay. And then do we need... We also have a guard. Guard up, guard down. Let's make a new one. Let's do a duplicate track. Let's do guard. Okay. And then so the guard animation, it's only gonna be 4. Okay. So texture, whoops. Oh, let's guard down, guard up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frames 4. 0.4. Then we can delete the rest of these. Boom. And then he does a nice little cool block. Ding. Okay, save. Okay, so now let's go back into here, Battlecry. Let's look at our, where's our abilities? There we go, abilities. Thunderblade, we played the Thunderblade animation. Battlecry, We need to steal those animations from. We did it in Rogue. Which one? Mobility? Yeah, there we go. Copy. So we're adding the buffs. So come back in the battle cry. There we add the buff. Then we're going to play battle cry. Okay. So this is for battle cry. So let's do it. Let's actually make a new one. Copy new. Create new script. And this will be for guard. We'll put this in here and we'll call it guard. Okay. And then we'll play here. Guard. Done. And then what we need to do is we need to come into our guard this, and then we need to change the script. Oops. Guard. Quick load. And then this will be guard. Okay. So then if we save that. Save. Okay. So it's all the same thing. Okay. So now if we run this, our barbarian. Doing anything now is just smashing keyboard. Oh, wait, I missed the first part. So looking forward to working in Godot, Krita, and Blender with my grandson. He just turned 1 year on the 13th. Doing anything now is just smashing keyboard. Yeah. It's fun. My son is actually, I've got him using Scratch. So he is learning game programming through Scratch. And then he wants to learn Godot and stuff too. So right now I have him in Sprite, and he's been drawing pictures and animating stuff in Sprite. So he's getting the skills under his belt. Okay, so if we go here, we go guard. Boom. He's guard. Now he should have an extra 2 combat dice. Let's see here. Barbarian. We look at our buff. Yep, he's got 1 buff here. And then if we do a defensive here, I think I made the defense too big, but if we put it here, then everybody should have had something just happened there. I have no idea what. What did I do? That's a good question. I just did something that caused the wizard to die. May have just attacked him. Okay, let's try Thunderblade here. Okay. I think this defensive cry, I think, is actually attacking. Nope. Okay, so that cast on there. Let's just see if, like, the priest got extra. Buff size of 0. Okay, so did not apply the buff. Oh, right, because we didn't do it that way. Okay, so let's fix that, and then we'll be all done the barbarian. Script, buff, battle cry. Here we go. So what we need to do is this needs to be, because it's an AoE, it's going to be the attack actors. We should probably rename that at this point. We should probably call it like effect actors or something like that. If the actors and players return true, okay, that's fine. So that will come back true. But this we need to put into the attack actors like we did with the wizard's teleport. Okay. So if we just do it this way, Control C, bring that back around to battle cry. We take that out and put it in this way. And then we do for actor and actors. Okay. We apply the buff. Right? Oops, that should be for, not fur. It's not a tree. For actor and actors. Okay. What was this? Oh, I got to return true. That's fine. For actor and actors, we apply the buff. We play the animation. So let's add in here. Let's add in another variable. Barbarian actor. And then we just come in here and do BR equals actor. That's fine there. Okay. And then we come down here, and any place we have the word actor, we replace that with barbarian. And then we do right here, return true. And that should be okay. So that should give us the buff on everybody in our AoE for the barbarian. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Let's make sure we can buff everybody with the barbarian, and then we'll be, here we go. Perfect. Perfect timing. Do this. Buff. Barbarian animation player on base object of nil. We have the barbarian. We set the barbarian equal to the actor. Did we never call is valid target? Oh, you know what? We never called is valid target. Okay, we need to go back over and do the is valid target. Because remember, the only time we did the is valid target for the teleport was if there's no one in the AoE. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. AoE selected. Yeah, because here we call the if actors in player doom. If we see if actors is empty. You know, we don't need to do that because we are passing in. We're not passing in actors. We're passing in the target cell. Yeah, why don't we just get rid of that and just do this? Let's try that. Okay. No, this is an AoE. Let's just make sure we didn't break this AoE. No targets in AoE. Did I make it so it... Okay, so I broke that. Okay, so I don't want to do it that way then. Battlecry. Okay, now did we give everybody a boost? So it's like a buff manager. Yes, he got a boost. Did we even include the barbarian? I think he gets a boost too. Yes, he does. Okay, so let's just make sure that those are actually applying properly. So let's let the orcs attack us. And my mouse has once again decided that it doesn't want to work today. There it goes. Okay, let's see if we get the extra defense die. Yep, we got the extra 1 defense die. Perfect. Okay, so then let's go back and sort out the ability problem with, oh, because shurikens, we didn't do the proper validation. That's why. Shurikens. There we go. If we pass in, if the actor is a rogue, return true. Okay. So this will allow shurikens only to be cast by the rogue. So that anytime it's the rogue's turn, that should return true. Make sure if we do fireball is valid target, we just have everything is valid. Do we have any other AoEs? Teleport, technically. Teleport, this should still work. because we're going to send in the target cell, wizard's the actor, and if it's the wizard, return true. Yeah. So we don't have, we can go back in here and we're going to do more extensive validation in the cleanup process, but we're just getting functionality working. Okay, so now all of that should be working. Let's just double check. Okay, so this, we haven't hooked up any of that stuff yet, so that's fine. So let's see here. Fireball, boom. Let's do a teleport because this was AoE, so let's just make sure that that still works. That works. Okay. Fireball, we don't have enough. We can cast it on that. Okay. Whose turn is it? Okay, we're going to cast our defensive buff. That should cover everybody. I wonder if that did cover everybody. Let's just take a look at the wizard, see if he actually got it. Wizard, he did. Okay. And then we'll turn on our guard to give us extra. So he should have like 5 defensive dice now. Mobility, this will give him the extra movement after. So then he can move to just about everywhere. Yep. Okay. And then that leaves, oh, I wanted to check his shuriken AoE. Whoops. Boy, the priest is not going to make it out of there, is he? Now look at that. A lot of defense for that barbarian. Okay. And then, okay, shurikens. Right now we don't have this validating, so it's only casting on him, but we'll just do that. Okay, and that works. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are done. So let's stop that. The barbarian is done. So we didn't do a Battlecry attack, but we did Thunderblade and Guard. And again, we are saying we're only going to do 3 for right now. We're in that kind of like cut things. And then all we have left is the priest. And then we're going to add in some monsters. I think the priest, let's go ahead and start work on him. His is going to be pretty straightforward. Let's see, what we give the priest for things. We have a healing word, word of pain. Okay, word of pain is just the other thing. Divine fire, that's just fireball. Okay, so we've already got all the stuff we need. The only thing that's going to be new is healing word. So let's just go ahead and get the divine, whatever it's called, in there. So we'll take fireball. We don't need any of that stuff in fireball anymore. Whoops. Take that right out. Okay, so we'll just copy all that. We'll go into priest, barbarian, rogue. Oh, we still call him cleric here. Okay. Abilities, create new script. And so fireball was called divine fire. Divine fire. Okay. Divine fire. Okay. And then this is all going to be the same, except for it's going to be 2 dice instead of 4. It's going to be 2. And we're just going to call this divine fire. Okay. We don't need this. Okay, so that's fine. We're going to need the word of pain, which is just our fire torrent. So this, copy. Create new script. This is going to be word of pain. Okay. Paste that here. Word of pain. Okay. Validate that. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, we may have to go back and double check that fireball thing again. Word of pain. Okay, and then word of pain was 2. 2. Okay, so that should be fine there. Let's just double check the divine fire. Okay, so I just have return true. That's fine. Okay, and then healing word is going to be the exact same thing as this, basically, but we're going to do slightly different. Create new script healing word. Okay. Healing word. Okay. Actor. If it's an actor, return true. Execute. Take the actor. Combat manager. What we're going to do here, though, is we're going to go and steal the mobility. We're going to steal this. Copy. We're going to play healing word. Oops. Healing word. There we go. Healing word. Okay. Oh, let's. There we go. Healing word. Wait the animation finish. Do this, and then here we're gonna do. Wait a minute. The actor is going to be. This is our target. So we don't want actor here. Okay, so let's add in a var here. Priest as an actor. Okay. When we do this, we do priest equals actor. Oops, not equals actor. Okay. And down here, this will be priest. Okay, and then here will be actor dot current HP plus equals, how much are we healing? 2 HP plus equals 2. Plus equals 2. And then we'll just double check here. We'll do actor.current HP equals minimum of actor.current HP, current, comma, actor. Do we have a max action points? Stats dot hit points. There we go. Okay. We'll probably have to do this if we have items that give us extra hit points. We'll probably have to change this around. But that should allow us to heal this. I mean, we could have combined all this into one check, but this will be just easy. We heal them for 2 hit points, and then we check to see if it's more than the max. And if it's more than the max, we just set the value to the max. Okay, so that's that. We need to add in. I need to double check because I don't think is valid target is called in a single attack. So let's go back to game board and double check that. Oops, game board. Target selected. Target ability target selected. Here we go. Action points. This is get action points, not enough. Using ability. Transition to the targeting machine. Okay, ability target selected. Here we go. Print. If use ability. So here's where we use the points. So here we need to run the valid thing that we're doing down here for this. Okay, so we basically need to run that right here. We need to validate. Ability is valid target, current actor, and target cell. Did we pass the target cell? We must have a, oh no, we're not passing target cell. Okay, so we need to, this is a single ability. So instead of target cell, where's healing word? There. We can just not pass anything. Okay. Equals vector 2.0. Wow. There we go. Vector 2i.0. Zero. There we go. Okay. So then if we don't pass anything from the game board script, then that should be fine. So you can just do that. Right? If not ability, target actor can assign value of type null to target cell. Okay, that's I'm not doing null. Where is it saying that I can't? Okay, we'll just do vector 2.0 vector 2i. There we go. So we'll just pass that. Okay, that's fine. Go back to our healing word. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just do that. That's fine because we don't use target cell at all. Okay, so we assign the priest there when we're calling healing word. That's fine. And then we send the actor and the game board. We don't need this right here. Boom. If it's not a valid target, we show the action panel in return. We don't spend the action point. If it is, then we can use the action point, and that stuff's already been assigned. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that should be that. Now we just have to add in real quick the animation, and our players will be all done. That'll be great. Okay, so let's bring up our priest scene. Then we can start working on our monsters. We'll take probably a quick break to grab something else to drink and eat, but let's go and look at priest scene animation player. Okay, we need new. We'll just duplicate this one. Duplicate. Divine fire. Okay. So let's go over here. Special animations. Divine fire. Divine fire orthogonal. And let's see what we got. We have got an even number. So we got, looks like 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 12. Okay. H frames. 12. 1.2. Okay. And then let's see here. We can go right to frame 5. Let's put our playhead at 6. Go to our sprite. I'll add that in. Oops. 5. This should be 6. That should be 7. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. Okay, so here's his divine fire. Okay. What was the other thing we need? We got divine fire. We need healing word and word of pain. Okay, so let's duplicate healing word. Okay, and let's see. Healing word is going to be. Oh, this one's layered. Okay. Where's the healing word cast? Oh, here we go. Healing words prey effect. Nope. Don't want that. Where is his actual like casting? Prayers. There's his prey. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. Jeez. I can't count this high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 22. Wow. That's going to be a lot of animations to add. Okay, so 22. Let's add this in. It's 22 of these. Okay, so we've played to the end. Okay, so we're at frame 1.2 on the sprite. This will become 2.2. Okay, so let's add in there we go. So now we have our little praying. Well, that was book and praise. Okay. So that's healing word. That one's going to create the effect on the other side, so we're not really too worried about that. Let's duplicate this. Word of pain. And word of pain is going to basically be the same thing because there's no casting. It's just what happens. So it's going to be the same exact animation. So that makes that easy. So we have word of pain, healing word, and divine fire. Okay. And then let's just double check to make sure we have those called properly. Divine fire, healing word, and then word of pain. Word of pain. Okay. So that's all good. We need to make the resources and then add them, and we'll be all done. So let's make a, let's see, this one would be divine fire. Okay. Come in. Okay. Divine fire. And circle enemies with holy fire. There we go. And then what did we say for that? That was divine fire, range 6. There's 2 dice. Oh, what was our AoE on that? Divine fire. That was 2. Okay. AoE. Targets allies. No. Okay, let's add the region. Which one's going to be? This will be divine fire right here. Divine fire that we're using right now for fireball for the. Okay, and we'll save that. Just copy. Okay, and then we do a new resource. Let's see, where are we at? Well, let's do healing word next. Healing word. Okay. Healing word. Wow, typing a little too fast, adding a whole bunch of letters. Heals ally for 2 HP. There we go. Range. Do we have a range on that? I don't think we did. Nope, we didn't set a range. Single target, that's fine. Targets allies. Paste. Then let's edit that. Let's put our healing word as that one. Okay. Save that. And last but not least is divine or word of pain. Word of pain. There we go. Okay. And of course, some of this stuff will probably need tweaking once we get into building our GUI stuff. Word of pain does 2. Ranged attack on enemies. Okay, AP cost, range. I'll give it 6. That's fine. Single target. Paste. Edit. And this is why we did all that back end work. So then when we start adding in all this stuff, it's just real easy to do. That's kind of cool. But I think that's the actual word of pain thing. Close. Okay, so we save. Okay, now we just need to actually add in all the abilities here. Add elements, 3 of them. Quick load. Divine fire. Word of pain and healing word. There we go. Save. Okay. So now we have teleporting. We have fireball. Let's make sure fireball still works. Boom. Yep. There we go. I'll kill all them. Boom. Okay. Mobility. That's cool. Move. It probably increases move speed also when he has that. But okay, so if we use healing word, we should heal. Okay, he goes back to his idle. I gotta change. I don't like his idle. His idle is reading the book, which is right after casting a spell. That's probably not the best thing. Divine fire. Okay. Let's just make sure that we can find some enemies just to make sure that we can have someone to attack. I want to make sure his stuff is working. I believe it will be, but okay, perfect. And turn. And turn. Here we go. So, Word of Pain. And then I'll cast that effect. Okay. Divine Fire. And there we go. Okay. The last thing. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. So let's go back over here. Let's stop on this. We'll go back to our Kanban piece. We did Healing Word, Word of Pain, and Divine Fire. Okay. So let's mark that as done. Save. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to move on to building our enemies. Okay. So I'm just going to cue this up and then I'm going to take a brief break so I can go get something to drink because I ran out of coffee. So let's see. Let's close this out. Close this out. Let's find our orc. Okay, so this is going to be our base scene that we're going to build from here. Our Mr. Orc is probably not going to exist anymore because we're going to move over to our Dark Orc army. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, excuse me. Okay, where is my... Okay, I'm going to run away for a moment. I'm going to throw on the splash screen and I will be back in probably about 5 minutes. And then we'll go in and we'll build out a bunch of our orcs. So I'll see you in a few. Okay, we're back. Ugh, quick little lunch shoved into my gullet. Okay, so let's start adding in our monsters here, our orcs. Okay. So we've had our little rough orc here, which he does pretty good for most of our stuff. Let's see. Let's collapse down all of this other stuff. Here we go. Shadows, we can add in all the shadows and all that stuff later. That'll make things look cool. But let's see what we got. We got our dark orc army. We got a mouse that's not behaving. Come on, mouse. There it goes. I've got too many things plugged into the same USB hub, so trying to run cameras and streams and stream decks and just a little too much. I have to start separating it out between different hubs. Okay, so let's see. We got Dark Orc Army. So let's look at who we identified as our lesser orcs here. Orc Blade, Orc Scout, Orc Rider, and possibly a Warg. No, I don't want that. Lesser orcs. Orc Blade. Okay, so here, this is going to be our standard orc here. So let's see. Just want to look to see what he looks like. That's what he's going to look like. Okay. Okay, so all we're going to do then is we got all this stuff. Orc Blade, Lesser Orcs. We're going to just take all of these. We're going to copy this. We're going to head right over into our enemies. We'll paste these in. Okay. And then what we can do is we can take one of these, save the scene as, and we're going to start with the Orc Blade. Orc Blade. Okay. Let's rename them so we know we're working with someone different. We're going to change this sprite. Let's see, this one was 16 frames. Let's look at the Orc Blade. Idle, here we go. I think he's also 16 frames. Let's look. Animation player, idle. Oh, right here, we need to replace that with that. Yep, okay. Idle, reset, let's replace that. Let's just make sure, I want to make sure I didn't mess up orc. Idle. Okay, so that sometimes Godot, when they make a copy of a scene, sometimes it makes a reference and not an actual copy. So I just want to double check, make sure that's what's happening here. Okay, so we got the Orc Blade. We did the sprite. Let's go through and reset. So we did reset. Let's do an attack. This one looks like it's only 4 frames. Let's go look at the Orc Blade attack. This one's going to be a few more. This one looks like 8 frames. So 8 frames. And, oops, didn't mean to do it there. I wanted to do it down here. Attack. 8 frames. Okay, so then if we zoom into our little buddy here. Oh, right, we need to add the extra frames. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so let's see, 3. So this one becomes 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7. Okay. Whack. Whack. Okay. Okay, so we got that. We've got the reset. We've got the attack. We have got idle. Okay. We need the die animation. Okay. So let's see, die. Looks like it's about the same. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, did I count those right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like we got about 18. Okay. So we'll change this from 12 to 18. That V-frame can stay the same. 1.8. So let's see, this was 11, so this one will be 12. Oops. 12, enter. Oh, do we not? I thought I changed the H frames, no? I did. Oh, I just didn't hit play. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Wait, did I do that too many? Hold on. Frame 11, 12, 13, 14. That, yep. 14. This one's 15, 16, and 17. Okay. Ugh. So again, we got bleh. Okay. Okay, so we've got attack, we got die, we need hit, damage, doom. That one should still be the same. Yep. Okay, so that one's pretty easy to replace. Boom. Okay, and then we have idle. We already did move. Move. This guy was 4. This guy's going to be also 4. Good. Oops. That'll make it really easy to update. Boom. Okay. So now if we save this, if we go back to our game, or not game board, our spawner. Spawner. And we look at this, and then what we can do is we can replace the orc scene with our orc blade. So we do that, and then we run our game. Oops, that's not right. Game. We need game board. There we go. So now we have our orc blades. So if we can get one to hit and animate. Their idle is not animating. Well, they died. Okay. So we weren't auto playing on their orc blade, animation player, idle, autoplay, save. Okay. So now they should be, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's our orc blades. Okay, so we save those guys, and then let's see, what's our next one that we have? We have orc blade, we have orc scout. Let's do that next. So if we come down here, we do scene, save scene as orc blade, orc scout. SCOUT, scout. Okay, we'll rename this orc scout. Okay. Okay. And then we need to go here. We go to our orc scouts. Orc blade, orc scout. Okay, we'll bring in his idle. Okay, so save that. Okay, and then I think everything in here is just going to be animation. So let's go into our attack. This is currently idle. Where's my attack? Die, damage, shot. Oh, this guy is the bow and arrow guy. Okay, so let's see. This is an odd number. It is 5, so it's 11. Okay, so this is 11. Okay, 11, 1.1, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So you see here, he shoots a bow and arrow. Ding. Okay. So that's his attack. Let's bring in his die. That's the old guy's die because that's the wrong texture. Die. Here we go. Let's think that looks like it's about the same. So I'll bring that in and let's just see. Yep. But you see this one, he throws a bow and arrow. Okay. So that's good. Die's fine. Bring in the hit. Die damage. Here we go. Whoops. Got to select the texture first. Okay. That's hit. Idle. This one might be different. Let's see. This one is at 16 frames. Idle. Actually, this one's probably going to be the same. Oh, we got to run the reset first. Boom. There we go. Idle. Yep. Okay. And then move. Okay. Save. Okay. So then we have him walking. Okay. So we have, that's the Orc Scout. Let's see, what else we got? We got one more. We got an Orc Raider. And then of course we can go in here and we can tweak the, like this guy right now has the melee attack. We're gonna have to build a range attack for him so that he won't actually move up and engage the bad guys. Bad guys. The players. Wow. And then the last one we have was, what was it called? Orc Raider? Orc Raider. Save scene as Orc Scout, Orc Raider. Okay. Orc Raider. Okay. And let's go down to our animation player. Let's go back to our reset. So this is our base texture. Idle. Boom. There's our base texture. Let's go to our attack texture. Shot orthogonal. This one looks like it's slightly different. Let's see here. We've got, that one looks like 11. Actually, this one may have been 11. Yep, it is. Okay. So this is the Raider. Nope, I'm working in the wrong folder. Let's try this all again. Here we go. There's the Orc Raider. He is going to be 8. I was going to say, that looked awfully a lot like the same. Okay, so this Orc Raider, we're probably going to have to redo because he's going to be too big for a single cell. I think he's going to have to be 2 cells. Okay, let's go back to idle. Idle. I think that's about the same number on idle. So let's go back in here and look. Yep. Okay. So there's idle. Idle, attack, we already did. Die. I think that one's the same. Let's find out. Nope. Okay. So we're going to have to count the actual frames with this. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 28. Yeah, 28 looks like. Okay. So instead of 18, we do 28. Let's make sure we get that right. So then he shouldn't move. We should just see. Yep. Okay. That's right. Okay. So let's add in these new frames. 2.8. Okay. We're at frame 17. Sprite. 18, 17. Okay. 19. Add 27. Okay. So that should be all the death. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's die. Do we have hit? Nope, that's the other guy's hit. Okay, yep, that one's still just 4. Oh, we need to run reset first. There we go. Hit. There we go. Boom. Hit. So we've done attack. We did die. We did hit. We did idle. We just need to do move. Okay. And that's also only 4. Sweet. There we go. Okay. So that's our Orc Raider. I think they're going to be a little bit too big, but let's go back and double check on our board. Let's see here. Script. Game board. No, not game board. Monster spawner. Here we go. So if we replace that with our Orc Raider, save that. We run our game. Yeah, see, that's going to be a little too... They really should be taking up 2 cells, not 1. Okay, well, we'll toss them into the back for right now. How about our wargs? Are the wargs going to take up 2 cells, or are they just 1? Whoops, that's the wrong. Here we go. Others, warg. I'll just look at the... Yeah, they're gonna... Looks like they're gonna take up 2 cells. Yeah. What else we got here? Dark Orc Army, Feral, Lesser, Moorbreed. I mean, we could keep our regular orcs too. Are these guys all... Let's just make sure these guys aren't mounted. He's not. Okay. Berserker. He's not mounted. The Blade. He's not mounted. Okay. And the Phalanx. He is not mounted. Okay. So our next level guys are not mounted. Okay. So let's go back and let's just add in some randomness here. So we'll have a constant here. Let's do a... instead of a constant, do we want to do an array? Trying to think here, because our monster spawner is something we're just calling. We're not actually creating. Oh no, we are. We're creating the monster spawner on the board, but we're creating it based on the tile. So it's not something that's going to be like exportable. Or is it monster spawner? Oh, well, we do have this, so we could do an export over here. So why don't we do that? So instead of this constant, let's delete this out and let's do an export var. And this is going to be monster. We'll call it tier 1. Monster, tier 1. Monster tier 1. Yeah, that works. That's going to be an array of monster. Oops. Square brackets. Monster. Okay. And by default, nothing's going to be in there. And then we're going to export it. And then this will be we'll do a monster tier 1 dot pick random dot initiate. Okay, so then we'll just pick randomly a monster from this pool, and we'll make it. So right now we have, oops, cancel. We have 3 possibilities. So here, if I do, oh, we don't want to do monster. Reset. We want to do, this is going to be a packed scene. Packed scene. There we go. Okay, so if we do this, quick load, there we go, and then we do orc. Okay, so we can do the orc. Quick load. Let's do the orc orc blade. Okay, and then let's do quick load orc scout. Okay, so now when we spawn it, we should get a mixture of the 3. The animation being slightly in sync is, polished stuff that we'll do, and probably change their animation. So let's just see if we can kill these guys off. Oh, no, not that way. We won't. Okay, let's throw a bomb at that guy then. There we go. Boom, he's dead. Okay, let's do Divine Fire, which does nothing. Let's try it one more time. Wow, just can't hit. Okay, Thunder. I'll kill those guys all off. Okay, let's see. Here we go. What do we get? It looks like we got 2 blades and 2. I can't really tell. Let's nuke them. Oh, did it pick? Did it do everybody that it randomly picked as the same? Let's find one more square and let's just double check that. Come on, another square of bad guys. There we go. Oh, okay, that one picked. So now we have some enemy variation. The downside is we have enemy variation, but they don't actually vary. They're all exactly the same. So let's go back here. Let's go back to our orcs. So we have our regular orc here, and we have his stats. He can move 6. He's got a base attack die of 1, a base defense die of 1, and he's got 1 hit point. And then we have our orc blades, which are these guys, right? And they have, here we go, movement 6. I feel like with a blade, let's give them 2 attack dice. We'll keep them with 1. Yeah, we'll keep them with 1 defense. Do we want to keep them with 1 hit point, or we want to give these guys an extra? Yeah, let's keep them like this right now. So they get an extra attack die. Let's see here. And our scout. Go back to the scout here. Did we mess up the scout? Did he end up with... Yeah, he ended up with the orc blade texture. This is why I didn't want to do it that way. Okay, orc scout. Idle. Here we go. Boom. Reset. There we go. There's his. Just make sure that he didn't end up with the blade again. Nope. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so go back to a reset. For some reason, the reset was just wrong. Okay, so that's the orc scout. We got the orc blade. Let's look at the orc raider. We don't have the orc raider in right now. We have the orc blade and we have the orc scout. Okay, so the Orc Scout, let's make him a slower mover. Base attack die 1. But this is the guy who we're going to end up creating a new attack thing for. So let's find the melee. Melee attack. Okay, so this is the logic step here. I'm just curious, what's the... Oh, we just set the AP cost there. Okay, so let's create a new script. And this is going to be called a ranged, R-A-N-G-E-D, ranged attack. Okay. We're going to paste in this code because it's almost all going to be the same. We're going to loop through all the players. We're going to execute. We are requirements. So we check all of these. We get the point path. And then what we need to do is we need to set the range. So the range for these guys are going to be 2 is adjacent. So let's make these guys like say 8. There we go. And then we're going to say range attacking. Okay. And then range attack end. Okay. So we got all that. Let's create the new resource. Oh, wait, we didn't do that. Okay, new resource. Oh, wait, what did we do? Yeah, no, we're fine. We're fine. Got myself confused because I had the filter applied. Okay, so let's do a create new resource. That's going to be based off of logic step. Not logic step. How did we do this before? Melee attack. And then we had a script. Resource. We don't have a class name. So I don't have like a ranged attack. So we'll just create a new one. Create new resource, period. It's a resource, fine. New resource is ranged attack. Okay. Okay, and then so if we come in here, we do this, we do a quick load, we look for ranged attack. Okay. Oh, you know what we can do? We'll do ranged attack. What we could do here, ranged attack, let's add in export var range. Wow, range. Let's call it attack range because range is a reserved word. So let's do int equals, we'll just default it to 8. So we'll do that here, and then we'll come down to this, and we'll replace this magic number with attack range. Boom. Okay. So then if we come into range attack, here's our range attack. Okay, and then if we come back into our Orc Scout, we'll go to our decision engine. We have our mouse die and stop responding. There it goes. Okay, so we do this. We do a quick load. We look up ranged attack. Okay, so now anything that's an Orc Scout, because he has the bow, should attack us from range. So then if we want to double check and test this, we go to monster spawner. And let's see here, which one? This is our regular orc. This is Orc Blade. So let's just get these out. We'll just keep these guys Orc Scout. Okay, so these guys are only ranged attack. They should only attack us, oops, from a distance. Okay, so let's see. Let's do, just move you out of here. Okay, so that did not work how I wanted it to. Okay, let's go back to our decision engine then. Make sure that we're running through this properly. Orc Scout. Okay, here's our decision engine. Action points. Find the valid step. Go through. Okay, so we're not doing any range check in there. Okay, let's look up our ranged attack. Okay, let's look here. We have our requirements. Player and player. find the, let's go up here and look at what it did. Monster logic running. Current iteration 1. Current target is priest, and then it chose to move. So the ranged attack is not coming back as valid. Okay. So we find the point path. Monster grade get point path from the monster to the player. Why is that not working? Let's just make sure we're going into this. Print. We'll do a print error here. Just print error. Check in range. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Totally misspelled, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so it's not calling that step. It's not calling the check range. Okay, let's see. Why are we not calling the check range? Let's go back to our decision engine. Okay, so we go through. We have our logic steps here, which we have range attack and move. Execute. No, where do we go here? Monster. Decision engine. So our logic steps. Execute step. Run logic. Here we go. While the monster action points is greater than that. Current loop, we do this. Find all of our players. Next step equals find valid step. Okay, so let's go back up here. Look at our find valid step. If step AP cost is less than action points and step requirements, return step. So let's go back and look at our ranged attack cost. AP cost is 1. Huh. So why is that not working? Okay. Give me one moment here. I will be right back. I gotta use the restroom, but I will be right back. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see. So why are we not running the step requirements? So I'm a little confused on that. Closest target is wizard moving. That's in our move. I believe that outputs come from our move. Yeah, closest target. Here we go. So it's running through this. And move. Why is this? Yeah, action name move 1. Move.gd. Okay. So why is our ranged attack? Oh, because it's got the wrong script connected to it. Okay. There we go. Save. Okay, now let's try that. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's see. What happened here? That doesn't look like it attacked. Let's see here. Running monster start check in range. Range attacking. Range ended. Check in range again. Range attack. Range ended. Monster running logic. Check in range. Range attacking. Range attacking. Wait, why didn't it? Range attack in, range attack ended. Okay, here's our second loop through. Check in range, range attacking. Error, didn't spend AP. Turn is over. Huh, that was really weird. Well, they're all dead. But that should be working now. Okay, so the range attack is working. So let's go back over to our here. Let's get me logged back in. Oops, wrong button. Let's see. Sessions. Did this one expire? 1201. Oh, we never restarted the new one. Okay, well, that's easy enough. We'll go back in here. We'll add a session here. 1201. Let's see. We came back from launch. It was about 1210, and it is currently 1249. So we'll just manually log that. Okay, we'll go back to our Kanban. Tiles. Monster abilities. Let's see. We've done these. Okay, so the monster abilities right now, at least, what we have is done. We've built a few monsters. We'll add more in later. And range check-in's the only other thing we don't have for our players. We have range check-in for our monsters, but not for our players. So let's go back over here. And did I actually start the session? I don't think I did. Let's just, oh, it's 1 o'clock. You know what? Let's go through our thing before I start the timer back up. Okay, so let's go up here. Let's look at our thing. We built the hero abilities. Everybody's got 3. We add the monsters. We built out some. And the heroes behave uniquely, as do the monsters. That is true. So that is done. So we have got that part completed. So let's see here. So what we don't have, let's go look at our GDD. So we have got all of wizard priest. So we did not build this one. Oops, let's highlight that. So we did not do the fire familiar. We did not do the mobility of moving through enemy squares. Let's see, priest. We did not do the spirit guardian. So again, this is our feature stuff, trying to, we did not do this one. This one's easy enough to do, but we did not do that one right now. Okay, so we have done the blade, the scout. Technically, we did the, oh, it's rider. Have I been saying raider this whole time? I have, haven't I? Yeah, I even called it orc raider. Is it, what is the, no, it's orc raider is what it's called. Okay, but he's on a mount. So orc rider, there we go, orc raider. Hence why the question mark. Okay. And then so we'll build up these guys, but what I need to do is actually start defining these guys' abilities. Actually, you know what? We're gonna add in one more. We're just gonna add in. We have a base orc, so we have the orc. We have the orc blade. Um, maybe what we do in the game, and this is just thinking logic here. In the game, we go through in the very first run. You only fight the very basic orcs. They run in, they swipe at you one and one. Um, and then the next time you can fight the scouts and the blades. And then maybe we make the raider like a boss type character for level 1. That might be an idea. But we need this one to take up 2 squares. We need this to take up 2 squares. This needs to take up 4 squares. But these guys are all 1 square. I'm pretty certain these guys are all 1 square. The Pale Champion, if I remember correctly, I think he is also 1 square. Pale Champion. Yeah, he's also just 1 square, but he's a little bit meaner. Okay. So what we need to do is right now our stats are pretty bland. Oh, you know what we need? Let's do one more thing before we close out for the day. Um, we have no health bars right now for anything. We need like a little quick health bar. What can we do for that? I wanted to click over here because I wanted to start my tracker again. Start tiles, HEALT, health bar. Okay. Save. Perfect. Come on, mouse. There we go. Nope. Nope. Come back. Thank you. Okay. So what we need is a little health bar scene that we can do and add in. You know what? Let's do so. Let's just steal it. Let's go. This is 4.7. I need 461, 46, or whatever it is, 462. Let's just steal it from. I have one in my Simon's Castlevania game. Let's just steal it from that. Save some time. Okay. Come on. Come on. Yes, I know. I need to rebalance. Thank you. Okay. So let's just go over here. The skeletons. They'll have one. Health bar right here. Perfect. We'll just steal this health bar. Okay. So we'll just snag. We'll snag this. It's just a control with a progress bar. Okay. So let's just go over here. 4.7. Let's do a new. We'll build it here. We'll just do add child node. We'll add a control. We'll attach a script to it. We'll make this one universal. So let's put this in a different spot. Core components, UI. And we'll just put it here. HEA health bar. Okay. Create. I know that, I can't just take all this stuff and reuse it. We don't need this. We do need the progress bar. So let's add that in. Add child node progress bar. Okay. Real basic here. Health component. We don't have health component, so we're not going to use any of this. Get node health component. We don't care about that. Health changed. we'll need a signal. So this can all stay the same. That can go there. Okay, so let's look at our actor. What do we have on our actor that we can connect into? Buff manager, current HP. Yeah, we could add in a signal and a current HP to... You know what? We're going to need that, but let's just keep this real stupid simple for right now. So let's go back in here and let's just do this. We're going to use a get parent. Update health bar. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need that. We will need all this. Health bar on get parent. Actually, you know what? We can just do bar parent equals get parent. P-A-R-E-N-T. Okay, so then we can just do parent here, parent. Okay, and then this is current, I think it's HP. Let's just define this because it's going to be an actor. So then if we do this, we should get current HP, and then this should be max stats. Yeah, stats dot hit points. There we go. Okay, so then we'll update that with a current and a max health. We'll set all that value right there. This is our progress bar. Let's go look at where it is. Okay, so let's move this around. We're going to move it up to, say, here. Let's see here. We're going to do a size. These are 8 pixels by, let's give it 4. Yeah, 8 by 4. 8 by 4. Okay. We want to turn off. We'll go down to the progress bar after and change that. We'll put it right here so it's above their head. 8-4 position. Yeah, we'll make it -20. That makes it easy. Probably don't want to do -20. Probably want to do like -8. All right. -20. We'll just do it right there for right now. Okay. And then let's go over here. Progress bar. Let's change this. Get rid of that show percentage. Begin to end. Max value. That's fine because we're going to change all that. Transform. Reset the size. 4 by 8. Oops, not that one. This one, 8. Okay, and then we need to where's our value? Current value. There it is. 100, and then let's change our color. Where is that it? Or do we just modulate it? I can't remember now. Thought it was here. Oh, styles. There we go. Fill. There we go. And then we just change the color. Oops. Flat. Color. Make it red. There we go. Boom. Yeah, we'll probably, let's change this. Let's only make it like 2 thick. 2. Progress bar of 2. Really? It won't let me go smaller than 4? Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Okay, and then what we can do here is let's take this, let's cut this, or build it as its own scene. Say branch as scene. We're going to put that up here in our components. I'm going to call it health bar. Okay, and I've closed OBS, so I'm not seeing all the chat. Okay, there it is. Okay, so then we have the health bar here. That's fine. Layout. You know what we can do? We can also do, where is the, we can cut it off. Clip contents. There we go. Okay, so we save that. This is, we're going to just call it HE health. Oh, actually, you know, we don't want to do it there. We'll go over here. Call it HE health bar. Okay. And then when we're ready, we're going to update the health bar here. And then we need, let's just do this. Don't do this when you're doing a full game, but this is just getting us working for right now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that'll get us working for right now. Let's go back to the orc orc raider. Okay, let's delete that out. Delete. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just add it right into our actor class. So we're going to go here. We're going to signal. We're going to put a constant right here. Health bar. Scene. Boom. Okay, copy. When the player is ready, on ready, set the current hit points here, and then we can do var health HP bar. Whoops. HP bar. Wow, cannot dot instantiate. Okay, and then we can just add child HP bar. Okay, and then that should just add it. And then by default, these guys are, so if we come and look, by default, we're up here. We have the, oh, we don't have clip contents on. Now we do. Okay, so by default, now everybody should have a bar, and it's going to update. Is it not current HP? Invalid access or property on null instance. Parent. Oh, this should be in ready. We set this. Okay, so let's cut this out. Oop. Parent equals get parent. Okay, so that, there we go. Did how come that didn't add it to other people? Why'd that only add it to? Okay, well, what we can do then in that case, let's just do, where are we? Game board, here we go. Rogue. Health bar. There it is. Okay, so let's move this down instead of where did we put it here? Transform -20, -10. Let's save that. It's like that. That looks a lot better. Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll copy this. Okay, rogue. Go back over here. Game board. We'll add it to our priest. We'll add it to our barbarian. Save. And then we'll add it to our wizard. Okay. And then we want to add it to our orc scouts. Orc raider. We'll probably override his just a little bit. There we go. And then we need it to the orc. We did scout. We need to do it to the blade. And then we need to do it to our regular orc. Where's just our regular orc? There he is. Save. Okay. Now everybody should have a health bar. Nobody has a health bar. Why does nobody have a health bar? Not a single person. Oh, because it's for some reason it's set as not visible. Okay, let's go back and look at our scripts. Oh. On ready, there's okay. Okay, let's try that again. Hey, look, everybody has health bars. Okay. This is definitely not gonna stay. This is just gonna be for right now. So let's just make sure that when I, attack. Yeah, he's gone, dead, whatever. End turn. Let's make sure that when I get attacked. Why did that not actually attack me? Okay, well, let's go back into our monster spawner. We'll have to go back in. Those are scouts, so let's add in the blades, and then let's add in the regular orcs. Okay. So for some reason, the attack is not working on the ranged. Okay, so we'll go look at that in 1 second, and then we'll probably be wrapping that up for the day. Okay, so let's see here. End turn. Okay, somebody get hit. Nope. Well, if that's not gonna, their attack's not gonna work, then let's just get rid of them. Boom. Okay, come on, get through. There we go. Okay, so the wizard, yep, and it worked because you can see he's got a little bit less health bar. Okay, so now we have health bars, so we can actually see what's happening there. Okay, so let's just go back and look at that ranged attack. Why is that not? We get the right script now, and they are checking range attacking. Oh, because over here, I validated the attack again. Oh, because this checks to make sure it's valid. This will then actually choose the player. Okay, so then if we do this, copy this here, put that there, then that should be fine. Okay. This should be here. Okay, so now this should work with our ranged attacks. Okay, so this guy's swiping with his hand. Boom. This guy's shooting with a bow. Missed. He's going to hit something. Yep, he hit the rogue. Okay. Oh, actually, he didn't, but okay. So that should work there. Okay, let's just make sure this guy moves into range. This guy's a melee, this blade. So he moves up. He's going to attack the barbarian. Okay. Okay, and then here we go. Our range guy. He hits the wizard. Okay. Yep. Okay. And then in the cleanup process, what I will do with the or cleanup polish, I will make sure that this guy aims, left or right based on where the player is. And then we'll actually add in an arrow flying to the player. So then we'll have that animation. Same with right now with like fireball and like right here with the throw bomb. Here he'll throw the bomb. You'll see him throw it. But there we go. This stuff right here, probably the health bars. Again, if I have, here we go. I don't know how well this is going to come across on this camera. I'm going to switch over to my Sony to try to show it this here. I have the design of, like I said, I don't know how well it's going to come across, but basically all the pictures and health bars and stuff like that. This is the initiative order up here. Then the players will have their items and their health bars here and combat status and stuff down the bottom. That's my idea right now for the UI when we get there. And then so these like health bars and stuff like that, I'm going to move into the UI. It'll send a signal saying, hey, health has changed, update the UI. So we'll be having that. But we've got monsters moving. I am behaving differently. We have ranged ones. We have a whole bunch of stuff like that. So basically the next step where we need to do is we're going to have to come back into these tiles. Right now, we only have this one entrance 2 that spawns 4 monsters. We need to create, like if I'm going to do D&D Adventure, like if I'm going to create that, I believe each one of those sets has like 47 tiles. And I think, do I have in my notes? Let me go back here and look. No. I have all the shapes that it looks like, but I don't have the number of like how many T intersections, how many ones have monster spawns, how many have trap spawns, that type of stuff. But that's all going to be part of this step right here. So we're gonna create our exit tile. How we're gonna win. We're gonna create the win-loss screens. We already have a loss screen right now, but we're gonna work on that. Then we're gonna add in the inventory for our characters, the stats, the escalation mechanic of basically item level, adding more monsters. We'll add in those guys, and the town shop, and we should have a complete running thing. I'm gonna add one other thing in here too. I'm gonna add in traps. Traps are going to be fairly straightforward and fairly easy because all they're going to be is just like a monster spawner. We're just going to say, here's a trap tile. Over here, whoops, that's Simon's Quest. Here we go. So over here, like these blue ones, these are trap tiles. I think, yeah, gold is a chest tile. And then the blue ones are trap tiles. So it's just going to spawn a trap there. And then we'll just have to figure out. Right now, the stuff I have for traps are just, let's see if I can make this big here. We just got spike traps in the floor. So then we can just do, you step on it, it looks like a regular tile, and then the spikes come up and shoot. And then you can see, like when it's been deactivated or something, we can use this tile. So pretty simple and pretty straightforward, I think. The big thing I'm going to try to do with polish is I want to paint with these, try to get the walls to be like too high so it actually looks properly and stuff like that. But that's going to be more on the polish stage. So I think we're going to hit stop on this. Let's see where we are. We are at 51.6 hours. So we're only like 12 hours behind. So we should be right in here in our playtest area, but we're about 12 hours behind. So we've got to get all this stuff done. Hopefully this weekend I'll be able to get another one in. And then we're going to build out, I'm going to start building out the tiles, all the different variations there. I'm going to build out the traps themselves. That one should be, like I said, should be a fairly easy lift. The question we're going to do with the traps are, what happens on a trap? Do we just damage the player? Do we stop the player? Do we show them the traps beforehand? The D&D board game, it has trap. You don't know if it's a dud, if it's going to do 6 damage or whatever. You can disarm it or you can walk through it, take your risk, things like that. The actual escalation mechanic here, I'm gonna put question mark here so I remember. The escalation mechanic is basically saying, hey, if you're just walking around the dungeon, if you basically really slowly go and just pick up one monster at a time, it's not going to be much of a challenge. So like in D&D, that has the escalation mechanic where you draw an event card and it says something happened. Monster spawn on the nearest spawn point, something like that. So that's where I have that in there, and it might be something that gets added from, with it not being in there from the playtest, saying there's too many slow spots and we need to re-add them. So that one's going to be a question mark on that, but that again shouldn't take too much effort to put back into the game. But hopefully not. We'll see how it goes without. It's one of those things where it works great for a board game. I don't know how well it's going to work for a computer game, but we'll see. And then we just had to add in the big lift for the next one here is going to be the inventory and the items. That's going to be the big thing. Everything else, once we have the items built and once we have the town shop working, um, this it's all going to get wrapped into, and this is why right now in here I'm running everything from game board. I'm not running a I'm not running the main game because I don't have a main thing yet. This is an individual level that we have. And then I still have to have the game manager that's going to track persistently all the gold and all that stuff, which I think right now it does. Yeah, all the gold right now is all tracked in the game manager. We'll track all of our heroes in there. We'll track our save and load and all that stuff. It's all going to be in there. I think I have save and load in here. Um, balance playtest data. Sound effects. I don't. Okay. We should put that in this. This is one run. Let's put that in. We're gonna put it in here. Before luck features, we're gonna add in save load. Okay. Because right now we're gonna run through all the items. We're going to be able to make it so you can run through, go to the shop, buy some stuff, run again, and that'll just help test out those early mechanics, and then we'll build off that. Okay, so I think we're good. Yeah, I think we are good for today. So let me just jump back over here into this, wrap this all up. Thanks for coming along today. It was another long session, another 3 hour game building session. But we finished out milestone 4. I'm going to say milestone 4 is done. Chapter 4. We're going to move on to chapter 5, and that's the actual gameplay. The actual bigger loop. We have the micro loop. What were the terms? There was a term. I think I mentioned it early in the series. You have the micro loop, the mini loop, and the macro loop. So we have the micro loop right now. We have the combat. We can fight the monsters. They move. They respond. They interact with each other. Then we're going to have the um, um, mini, yeah, mini loop, macro loop. God, now I already forgot micro mini. There we go. Micro was the interaction. The mini loop is the full dungeon run, and then the macro loop is multiple dungeons, dungeon after dungeon after dungeon. So we got the mini one all set. We're going to work on the micro, or sorry, we got the micro one all set. We're working on the mini one, and hopefully the next milestone, that one will be completed along with the macro one. So we only have a couple things left to do for the mini. We have to have an exit tile. We have to have some way to win, get out of the board. And then from there, we can build into the macro. So that's where we are. I think we're in a good spot. I'm going to try. I have a couple other YouTube videos I need to make this weekend. I'm going to try to stream again because right now I'm getting back into the game dev vibe or focus, whatever you want to call it, that where you're just focused and you just want to keep going and going and going. So I'm between Simon's tribute for my Castlevania remake and this game. I'm just zoning in. There we go. Zone. That's the word I'm looking for. Zoned in on that. So I'm hoping to get another stream in this weekend. So if you're subscribed, you'll see the message come up. I try to do it if I can, 12 hours ahead of time, just so people are aware. Sometimes things get a little chaotic and I forget. But if you like that, if you like what you see, subscribe. I am working on the summary series, so you don't have to go through where we at 52 hours of live streams to catch up on this game. I'm going to try to condense everything down into like little 10-minute sub chapter sections, so then people can catch up and get up to where we are in this game. Um, so the other thing too is if you guys are fellow game devs and you want someone to playtest your video, playtest your game and give you some live feedback, shoot me a message either here on YouTube, my email, or on my website, nidigitalgames.com. There's a form you can fill out and submit it. I have 2 or 3. I think I have 3 games in queue right now of other developers that have asked me to do a playthrough for them so they can get some feedback. And if you want to join that, just send me a message, give me a link to your game, that type of stuff. Bonus points if you have, and this is going to be critical, especially for anybody who wants to market their game. If you have a press kit, so you can have some like logos and some screenshots and maybe even a trailer, that really helps for anybody that makes videos, because then they can use your images to like create their thumbnails and stuff like that. So that's really helpful to have. I know it's a small indie dev, it's a lot less likely you're going to have that, but if you do, that's really helps. And I know streamers, especially like myself, it's very much appreciated. So again, if you want your game tested, reach out to me. If not, subscribe, and we'll see you hopefully this weekend. If not, guaranteed Thursday and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be streaming for at least 2 hours lately. It's been 3 this week, so we'll see where it goes. But until then, have a good evening, good day, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. So catch you later.